the Sahara Desert. With a surface area of nearly 9 million square kilometers, it is the largest hot desert in the world. It is a place of extremes. Temperatures can soar to 55 degrees Celsius during the day and plummet below freezing at night. In some regions, rain doesn't fall for decades. Here, the wind isn't just air. It's a weapon. Sandstorms reach speeds of 100 kilometers per hour, reducing visibility to zero. In this hellscape, your sense of direction vanishes. The sun burns you, the night freezes you. And if you get lost here, well, the desert doesn't usually give back what it takes. Meet Mauro Prosperi, a 39-year-old former Italian police officer and pentathlete. He was tough, ambitious, and looking for the ultimate challenge. He found it in the Marathon des Sables. Imagine running 250 kilometers across the Sahara. It's considered the toughest foot race on Earth. It's so dangerous that the registration form explicitly asks, "If you die, where should we send your body?" Mauro's wife begged him not to go. She was right to be worried. They had children, a life. But Mauro was stubborn. He trained relentlessly, running 40 kilometers a day and deliberately drinking less water to condition his body for dehydration. Little did he know, this specific training would soon save his life. April 1994, Morocco. The race began. For the first 3 days, Mauro was a machine, climbing to 4th place. But on the 4th day, during the longest and most brutal stage, everything changed. The temperature hit 46 degrees. Suddenly, the horizon began to move. It wasn't a mirage. It was a wall of yellow sand. A massive sandstorm swallowed him whole. The wind screamed, and the sand felt like needles against his skin. For 8 hours, the storm raged. Mauro tried to keep moving, to stay in the race. But without visual references, he made a fatal mistake. He ran in the wrong direction. When the storm finally cleared, the landscape had changed. The trail markers were buried. Mauro Prosperi was completely alone. Morning came. Mauro, still in race mode, ran towards what he thought was the course. He had a backpack, a knife, a sleeping bag, and some dehydrated food. But his water was gone. Realizing he was lost, the survival instinct kicked in. He knew he couldn't eat his dry food without water, or he would die faster. So to preserve fluids, he urinated into his water bottle. He hoped he wouldn't have to drink it. He was wrong. Days passed. A rescue helicopter flew overhead, but they didn't see his small flare in the bright sunlight. That was the moment hope began to break. On the 3rd day, dehydrated and desperate, Mauro found a structure, a Muslim shrine, a marabout in the middle of nowhere. It was abandoned, but it offered shade. Inside, he found something else. Bats. Huddled in the corners of the ceiling, Mauro did what he had to do. He caught the bats, cut off their heads, and drank their blood. It was gruesome, it was risky, but it was the only moisture available. This blood, mixed with his own recycled urine, kept him alive. He tried to signal a passing plane by burning his backpack and clothes, but a sandstorm struck at that exact moment, scattering the smoke. The desert was mocking him. Depressed, exhausted, and not wanting his family to wait 10 years for him to be declared legally dead, which would freeze their finances, Mauro made a dark decision. He wrote an apology on the wall with charcoal. He lay down and slit his wrists. He waited to die. But the desert had one more surprise. Because he was so severely dehydrated, his blood had thickened. It clotted almost instantly. He woke up the next morning, alive. Mauro took this as a sign. I am not meant to die here. He stood up. He left the shrine. He started walking toward the morning clouds, hoping they signaled an oasis. He walked for days, hallucinating, eating lizards and snakes when he could catch them. Finally, after wandering for over 200 kilometers, he saw palm trees. He found a small puddle of water. He forced himself to drink, slowly sipping for hours to avoid shock. Near the water, he saw footprints. Human footprints. He followed the trail and stumbled upon a Berber camp. A young girl saw him, a skeleton of a man, wild-eyed and terrified, and ran to get help. Mauro thought he was still in Morocco. He wasn't. He had crossed the entire border into Algeria. When the military police found him, they blindfolded him, thinking he was a spy. It wasn't until they heard the report of a lost marathon runner that they realized who he was. Mauro Prosperi had survived 9 days in the Sahara. He had walked nearly 300 kilometers off course. He lost 16 kilograms, 35 pounds, and his internal organs were on the verge of failure. It took 2 years for him to fully recover. The desert tried to kill him, but in a strange way, the desert also saved him. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this story of human resilience. Remember, I create all this content alone, script, edit, everything. Your likes and comments are the fuel that keeps this channel running. Unbroken Story. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.